the sky was made of amethyst.
Really, I mean, I've had interactions with him. More like altercations with him. He had custody taken away from him when I was 3.
Why? Why? Your father...
69 or 70.
Your father was not allowed to see you unsupervised until you were an adult. Why?
He wasn't allowed to see me at all.
Why?
Ever. He gave me acid when I was 3.
How? Why?
Because he wanted... You won't believe this. So hysterical. Apparently he wanted... it was like a eugenics freak. And I'm biologically part Jewish, part Irish. No wonder I'm neurotic. And he was anti-Semitic. His father was anti-Semitic, as was he. And he also made acid. 3 people testified that he gave me acid. He wanted to make a superior race. And that by giving children acid, that you could do that. Now, he denies this, and who knows?
And at 15, at least from what I read, you began to travel around and earn money as a stripper.
Mm-hmm. No, I did once. And then I have stripped erratically over the years, yes. But at 15, I went to Japan. And I remember I called my mother from Japan, and I'm like, I'm in Japan, and I'm stripping, and she didn't believe me. And
it's hard to believe. How'd you get to Japan at 15 to start stripping?
I had to give up my passport in order for me to get back. After I realized what was really going on, I turned myself in for deportation.
Your mother is this intelligent woman, a therapist today, who simply wasn't there for you. Yes? No?
Yes, I was the first child, and also I was the child of a man that repulsed her.
Did you feel abandoned?
Yeah.
To say the least?
Yeah. But a lot of people get very into... I mean, the name of my band arises from a conversation that I had with my mother. It's not... People always think it's obscene, and I guess it has that entendre. And as a poet, as somebody who always wanted to be a poet, and there's no money in it, I've always been looking for the quadruple entendre, you know, the bard, you know, what Shakespeare could do. And my mother said to me, now, Courtney, you know, you just can't walk around with a hole in yourself because you have bad childhood. And I remember thinking, what a brilliant name, Hole.
You talk about lyrics, but there are times on stage when you simulate your husband's death. To some people, that's really terrible taste. Why do you do it?
What do? Do I ignore it? Do I acknowledge it? Is there a middle ground? What can I do? Do I sit here and, you know, play Betty Crocker and pretend that I don't write music and die?
So this was your way of what? Paying tribute to him by doing that on stage?
It's more catharsis to you. It's catharsis. And there's not a thing I could or would take back because it was for me, not for them. And yet they get something out of it. I'm not a clown. I would never dishonor my husband, and I don't think I have.
Do you blame yourself? I mean, I know that there are fans of his who blame you.
I do.
What could you have done different? And what do you blame yourself for?
About 8,000 things. About 8,000 million things.
Could you have stopped it?
Yes.
Could you have stopped it permanently?
No, but I could have been diligent. Hold on, please.
Let's talk about something else. Okay, let's talk.
No, finish it.
Okay.
Damn it, finish it.
All right.
So I want to know.
Why do you think your husband killed himself?
He was ganged up upon. I don't think that intervention works.
You think he should
certain
have
people at a certain age?
Ganged up upon by people trying to get him off the drugs? You think he should have stayed on the drugs? If he'd stayed on the drugs, he would have been alive? Courtney, do you really feel?
I don't know.
You feel his death is your fault?
In this instance, yes.
Because?
Because I didn't need to call for an intervention. I shouldn't have called for an intervention. I just panicked.
because you tried to get him off drugs, and because he was not able to get off drugs, even though you were trying to do the right thing, it's your fault.
He thought it was a waste of space. Yes, yes, I told him he had dropped the baby. And I was mean about it. I wasn't really mean, but I wasn't nice about it. You know, we were really polite to each other, generally, and I told him on the phone, I'm like, you know, you dropped the baby the other day when he was in rehab. You dropped the baby. He was like, what? I'm like, you dropped the baby. You dropped Frances on her head. She was wearing a big hooded coat. And he did not hurt her. And I did not need to tell him that.
And you think that's why he did it? Because
I think that's a major reason. I do. I think that's a major reason. All right. And also, he felt like a waste of space and a sellout, and he'd made everything too huge, and it was his fault that everything was too huge. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do.
I mean, it came like a Mack truck. First it was magical. It was so weird. It was surreal and magic in the air. Everybody my age remembers that period when his band got big, and then huge, and then the grown-ups knew, and then the boomers knew, and then, you know, I'm not putting you down by any means.
And then I knew. Someone as square as I knew.
Person to person, or heart to heart, whatever. But, you know, age-wise and lifestyle-wise, we're different. And
he was a superstar.
And he was too famous.
What about your own career? Does that have real meaning to you?
I wouldn't be alive if I hadn't gone on tour, and if I hadn't worked.
Are you good?
Am I good?
Yeah, critics say you're good. Critics say it's not
I'm a
just
good
that
poet.
This is Kurt Cobain, she's good.
I couldn't have gotten anywhere if I wasn't good. You know, you wouldn't be talking to me right now if we actually sucked. We don't suck. And
what's the opposite of not sucking?
We're really good.
Okay.
And that might sound arrogant, and I'm sorry. It's just the truth.